All right. Well, apologize for any background noise in advance here. It's a little busy on my street today, and I'm doing the video in the garage, so I just want to warn you about that. But I'm back with another update. Once again, I didn't feel like I did much between updates, but then I come to do this, and I realized, all the little things that had to be done. Going to talk about the rear diff a little bit today, the mock-up, suspension, exhaust, and some other stuff, sort of like a mock-up part two, like moving forward with that, what that's going to look like, little chat. So if you don't know, I'm building an all-wheel drive K1600 powered hybrid sports car. That's the engine behind me. So there's an electric motor at the front, so it's all-wheel drive. Effectively no hard tooling in the chassis, so it's very flexible. Looking to just breathe some life into kit cars, find a new way to build low volume cars. And obviously the car is going to come out the other end of this. It's going to be really fun. So that's kind of the idea of the project. I definitely want to spin it up as much as I can. But let me start talking about all the bullet points I have for you here. Last time we spoke, I was having some trouble with the rear diff. I've kind of forgot how much I got into that, but effectively I tried a small case BMW diff and then a BMW E90 diff. Finally landed on ND Miata diff. I had that sort of in place last time, but now I have it not properly mated, but very, very close to properly mated. It's somewhere around here. It's not actually in the mock-up right now, which I'll talk about later. But it went in much. It was much easier to mount. It's 30 pounds lighter than the E90 diff. Much lighter, much easier to put into the car. I'm just very happy with it. I got the adapter from the engine to that mocked up. So yeah, just worked out very nicely. So I need to get some tubes to mount it and some other stuff like that. I really should have ordered that differential sooner. That's all going very well. I'm mocking the axles up right now, and that means I can get into the rear suspension and other stuff like that. There's actually, these two axles are cut up right in front of me right here. But so that's a good part of the differential. And let me talk about some mock-up news now. So the mock-ups are, this is going to be like in two parts. I'm going to end the video with the mock-up, and I'm going to talk about it here as well. So the mock-ups, I had to bring the rear mock-up higher. So I bought some new stands for it. I lifted it up there. Basically, I wasn't happy with how much the engine was sagging in the old chassis, so I decided that I had to put the hoist back onto it just to be safe. It was supported from the bottom, but there's something about having supported in both directions, just kind of made me more comfortable with it. And also, I'm working on the rear suspension now. It's actually right behind me, you can't see it. But to test the travel, I just need to get the car higher off the ground. So working on that stuff. The other mock-up news is that, so the center of the mock-up, the middle third, is still up in my spare bedroom. But the front I brought out here. Similar actually to the reason why I lifted the rear mock-up. Doing suspension travel testing to make sure nothing is like impacting each other when the suspension travels. So I had to lift that higher off the ground, and I didn't want to do that up in my bedroom. So I brought that outside. Me and my brother carried it out here, and everything else out there. So the motor is next to me here, and I'm going to put that back together more than it's now. It's pretty back together, but still some work to do on that. And since the steering is kind of finalized, I figured, I might as well bring that out here. It's just, at a certain point, stuff like that gets too dirty to really be doing inside. So, that's the update on the mock-up front. So, next is going to be some suspension stuff. So, I'm sorry if I'm going a little faster, if this video is a little short. I've been working on another project. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen it. It's a toaster. I know that sounds kind of lame, but I feel like it's important right now. I've been splitting a little time off this project. I want to take a break from this project a little bit anyway. But the suspension is a big part of what I've been working on. So I got the front coilover, which is really cool. Got that all put together. Shipped fast. Really happy with how it's turning out. It's the right size, thank God. Seems like the spring rate will be okay, although I don't really know for sure yet. That's definitely going to be easier than the rear suspension. I mean, the front was like a can of worms, but at the same time, it was pretty conventional as far as pushrod stuff goes. With the rears, I don't think the rear is going to be like that. So I was kind of praying to God that the rear suspension would go together easily and I wouldn't have to use push rods. Just not going to happen. Might have said that in the last video, but I'm certain now it's not going to happen. So in the C6 and C5, and you can see it on the control arm, the mount is kind of moved out of the way, but they have leaf springs on those cars that go under the chassis, which is actually a really good design for a number of reasons. But anyway, I'm not using that. You just can't get good aftermarket leaf springs. If you could, I would use them. But as a result, they're only avoiding a shock with the axle, not a coilover with a coil spring. And as soon as that coil spring comes over that, there's just no room for the axle anymore. So unless you get like some kind of custom coil spring, which I did not. So that just kind of is what it is. It's going to be a tough packaging situation back there. So the roll cage is like right in the way of where a nice like 90-degree, like along the middle of the car kind of push rod system would go, like there's in the front. So I have to figure out something else. It's going to end up looking cool, but it's just like, you know, all the dudes on like Facebook groups or whatever like worship push rod suspension. It's like you just do it because you have a tough packaging problem. And if you're not doing it because you have a tough packaging problem, it's like, I don't know what the hell, you shouldn't be doing it. That's my opinion, right? Someone who's like designing one car in their garage. But, you know, if you can just use a coilover, you should just do that because it's so much easier. It's all these parts you don't have to buy, don't have to figure out. Some things get simplified when you do it right, like sway bars get simplified, a couple of little things, but it's just like sure, it looks cool, like, you know, belt cranks are fun, but if I didn't have to do push rod on this car, I just would not be doing it. It would save me a lot of development time and a lot of money. Anyway, sorry for that rant there. But the suspension mounts, so I have it all mounted back here. I'll put up a video of that. I have to change all the suspension mounts for various reasons, just minor changes. So I have like 3 inches of suspension travel in the back in a bump, but in sag I have a ton, which is like just, you know, a strange situation to be in. So I got most cars, like Corvettes, Lotuses, have like 4 to 5 inches, so I just want to get to 4 inches. So I have to adjust the mounts a little bit to get there. And I have to adjust the lower mounts anyway to plug in those eccentric bolts so that I can have camber adjustment. So I got those eccentric bolts in the mail. They look good, they're clean, I got new ones. So that'll be a fun thing to do. Well, no, actually it won't be fun, I just have to do it. And then, yeah, the toe link is here too. So I have to mount the toe link. Looks like it's going to be pretty easy. So that's pretty much it on the rear suspension front. Now for something a little fun. There are still fun things to be done on this vehicle, believe it or not. So I 3D printed like a test exhaust collector. I don't think you can see it, but you can just kind of see it there on the camera view. All 3D printed in PETG in one piece on my H2D with no support. Really, really cool print. Fit right the first time. So I did a scan of the engine with the exhaust on it, and for fitment reasons and for exhaust reasons. And that's just going to be really cool. So the way the model is, they are actually sweeps of just regular tube. So there's nothing like crazy geometry-wise going on there. I'm still playing a lot with the exhaust. So the exhaust, I don't want it to sound like the bike. So whether that's like twin tips looks cool, right? I want it to be in the center no matter what. Or maybe not, I don't know. Twin tip looks cool. I think a single exit exhaust would sound significantly different than the bike. But you could also do like an H pipe or an X pipe. Still exploring a lot of exhaust options. I'm going to 3D print all those in plastic and try all of them for whatever short periods I'm like in the garage or whatever when I get the engine running. And that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. The exhaust is just fun, right? You know, you get to do all these cool shapes and it's like, I don't know. I enjoyed doing that. So yeah, that was a cool print. And yeah, as far as the mufflers go, I really just I don't want to do like a proper like car style muffler. I just want to do like 2 resonators, I think, like glass packs. I just like the sound of like a V8 with glass packs only. I like that noise, like cherry bombs. So I think I'll try that first, and if it's too loud, I'll go away from it. But yeah, if I could just have this motor has cats on it, so it's like not muffled, but it's not like a true like catless straight pipe. So I don't know if that's quiet enough. I'll keep with it. Maybe I'll do like a cutout or something. I don't know. That's like the fun stuff. I like doing exhaust. So that's like the happiest I've been in one of these videos in a minute. But yeah, so I'm still working on that stuff. And the other news that I'm going to talk about next is all like important decision-making mock-up related stuff. So just bear with me for that. It's kind of interesting. So let me talk about that. So the other day I came out here to take the engine out, adjust the mock-up a little bit, test fit the exhaust, do some scans, test fit the diff, and I was lowering the engine back in, and I just slammed down into one of the engine mounts and just like tore off a piece of the MDF. I didn't take a picture of it or anything, just because it really just kind of pissed me off, you know. But it just kind of made me think, you know, the engine sags in this, you know, not all the mounting is rigid. I feel like I'm just getting to a point where the mock-ups are not going to be as useful to me as I hoped. So for the middle of the car, like the seating buck, I think I might get a new version of that because it's very different, and I still want to do a lot of the interior stuff inside. But as far as like the rear and front go, man, it's just like in projects like this, what I'm talking about. In this project, I have to pay like $4 or $5 grand for a metal chassis for the bent parts, just for a small quantity of them. And that's a risk, right? Because if I get it wrong, I have to spend another $4 or $5 grand. But I always make a lot of progress when I make go-karts, for instance, when I just order the metal. Like enough mocking up, order the metal, figure it out. It's like that's easy to say when you're ordering like $300 or $400 worth of parts. When it's $3,000 or $5,000 worth of parts, it's not so easy. But I think it's a really important step to move faster to order that. I think I will in the next couple weeks. You know, it's like you can spend forever in the mock-up phase. Forever, I mean it. You can spend all the time in the world getting all the parts in the car. Oh, I need a stronger mock-up now so I can mount the engine. That's like a thought that crossed my mind. I just need to make a mock-up stronger. So no, you don't need to make a mock-up stronger. I'm going to learn so much getting that metal model in here. It's just like, how much more mocking up can I do? That thought just crossed my mind the other day. And yeah, I mean, there'll be some like mocking up still, or even when I get the metal frame rail. I'm not going to just like, you know, weld it together immediately. So I think I'm going to do that. It's like a philosophical thing, you know. Again, with the time, if you watched the last video, time is money. And if I just keep spending a bunch of time mocking up, it's like, for what, you know? And there's some things that just don't translate into the, from the mock-ups to the actual vehicle. Stuff like resonance, right? Stuff like NVH, like the electric motor vibrates the front mock-up. Will it do that on the aluminum one? Probably, right? Well, that's going to change how I want to mount it. And I just don't know any of that stuff yet. You know, I'm dealing with high voltage electricity. I'm going to have to think about insulating that system from the rest of the vehicle. I'm just not thinking about that at all in the mock-up. So, yeah, it's a big step. But I think I just have to do it. I'm sure you guys like to hear that, right? You're going to make a big step and order a bunch of cool parts, but it's kind of, you know, it's not scary, but it's like, you just have to accept the risk. So, yeah, I'm sorry today's video was a little short, but, you know, I've worked on another project, and which I like doing, you know. It's getting a lot of good publicity for this project, too, which I hope I can translate into some more sponsorships. But, yeah, I think I'm kind of like calm before the storm here, as strange as that sounds, because last video I was so stressed out. But, yeah, I think, you know, as soon as I work up the courage for it, which will probably be like Friday, I'm going to just get the pieces together, the bent chassis, and email the company Sharp products I found again, and just get the ball rolling on that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's kind of a heavy, no pun intended, heavy way to end the video. But, yeah. So, I mean, I'll have more updates for you guys soon. If you don't follow me on Twitter, you should. I post some updates there in between videos. I'm @_bald_tires in one word. I'll put my Twitter account in the description here. But, yeah, thank you guys all for following along. If I was watching this, I would be impatient. You know, it's like, because I'm impatient with the project myself. It's like, I want to see this car. I want to drive this car so bad. And I feel like every video I do where I'm not making some huge stride is like disappointing. It's disappointing to me, and I just don't like, actually debating not even doing the video today. So just like, well, like, sure, I made progress, but unless I'm like out really doing this stuff, like, what's the point? So anyway, I did the script, and I was like, well, I actually do some stuff to share. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time.